Never is just a variable. Ciao. Shalom, PrestoA. Continuing life story by Glen Hingston, PhD. Pour yourself a drink. This is going to take a while. And fair warning, my brain doesn't do linear. Events will hit like a 20-car pileup on Highway 401. We'll talk about the hydro, farm, strip club, family, all at once. We'll jump, we'll loop, we'll chase the occasional squirrel. That's not sloppiness. That's just how the wiring works when the meds are optional and patterns never stop. Stick with me. Every detour lands back on the track. And are you up for a challenge? Let's see how many Glenisms you can find throughout the story. Chapter 1, The Fall. January 1991, Woodstock, Ontario. I'm standing on a scaffold 28 feet up in a hotel elevator shaft, and I'm about to learn something important about gravity. It doesn't negotiate. The contractor is below me. I can hear him moving around. I'm checking the deficiencies that should have been fixed 3 inspections ago. You know, the usual kind of stuff. Bad wiring, missing supports, code violations that some thought they could slip past. See, I'm the backup inspector covering for a guy on vacation. This should have been routine. Then I feel it. The scaffold shifts. Not the normal movement when you're working at height. This is different. This is wrong. I look down just in time to see the contractor pull a support beam. On purpose. While I'm standing on it. See, here's the thing about being 28 feet up when the structure underneath you decides to stop being a structure. You have time to think. It's not a lot of time. Maybe 2 seconds, but that's enough. Enough for the math to kick in. Terminal velocity, angle of impact, which bones are definitely breaking. My brain does what it always does when things go sideways. It runs the calculations. Falls from this height are survivable. Barely. If you land right. If the scaffold doesn't land on you. If help will rise fast. I don't recommend testing any of these ifs. I hit the bottom of the shaft and everything goes white, then red, and then kind of a gray that pulses with my heartbeat. I can't move. I can't tell what's broken because everything is broken. The pain is, well, let's just say the pain redefines what I thought pain was. The fall didn't hurt. It was a sudden stop hitting the cold concrete. I'm in and out of consciousness. Each time I surface, there's a new problem. I can't feel my legs. I can't breathe right. Blood everywhere. It's cold. It's so damn cold. The firemen finally arrived, hours later. Felt like hours. Was actually hours. Freezing rainstorm. Every first responder in the region is busy, and they keep jabbing me with needles. Morphine, I think. And the world gets softer around the edges. Then they try to move me, and the world comes back in a sharp scream and focus. They call the army. London, Ontario is about an hour away. Twin-rotor helicopter. They get me out about 15 hours after I fell. Load me up, start hunting for a trauma center that can take me. London, the weather's too rough. Windsor, diverted. Hamilton, nope. I ended up in Buffalo, New York before they finally get me to the Toronto Sunnybrook Hospital. Later, much later, when I can think straight again, when the bones have been pinned and plated, the doctors have stopped using words like catastrophic and miracle, I find out the contractor did it on purpose. He pulled the support while I was on it because he didn't want to fix his mistakes. Thought he could intimidate this inspector. Wrong inspector. They told me I'd never walk again. They said it with certainty. A medical fact. The kind of injury you don't come back. I'm wheelchair for life. You better get used to it. I heard them. I nodded. I understood the severity. Then I started planning on how to prove them wrong. See, here's what I learned about can't be done pretty early in life. It usually means that nobody's figured it out yet. And I'm pretty good at figuring things out. It's not because I'm fearless, because I'm not. I'm the opposite of a risk taker. Everything I do is planned, calculated, scenario test in my head a dozen times before I make a move. What looks like hold my beer crazies is actually... I've already run this simulation 47 times and I knew exactly where the problems are. The fall should have killed me. The recovery should have been impossible. The fact that I'm writing this, that I walked out of the hospital, got back in a race car, built and sold multiple companies, and I generally refused to accept the limitations everyone else saw as inevitable. That's not inspiration porn. That's not triumph of the human spirit. That's just stubbornness, planning, and a fundamental inability to sit still. My name is Glen Hingston. I have 2 PhDs, one of which I sent back to the university in protest. I've raced cars and motorcycles for 40 years professionally. I've built businesses from nothing and sold them for good money. I've jammed with Johnny Cash. I've told off Pierre Trudeau, delivered a human heart in a 5-ton truck with a police escort, and I've been told no more times than I can count. Been told I'm too hyperactive, too direct, too disabled, too old, too Jewish, too working class for whatever room I'm in. And I spent my entire life finding the workaround. This is that story. It's not neat. It's not inspirational. It's just honest.